I just wanted to do a quick video in relation to a comment that was posted on a video that I did yesterday. The comment was asking a question about reincarnation. And so if I just dive straight in, we can have any experience through this human form. So there may be some beings that have had the experience of reincarnation, and that is more to do with the memory, because reincarnation is, as I know it, a past life. So you would have to remember, there'd have to be a remembering of a past life. And maybe there are some beings that have actually had that experience. Because I think the main thing to know is that we are the absolute. We are the ever-present, never-changing being. And we can have any experience, good or bad. We can use self-inquiry to inquire of our true nature. And if we do that effectively, we will then affirm the clear seeing. So, for example, one of the questions that I like to pose with self-inquiry is there a past? And then it's recognizing the space. Once the question's been asked, you recognize the consciousness or awareness or God self, different words. You just recognize the silence. And the more attention that we give to the recognition of the silence, we realize that who I am is attributeless, ever-present, ageless, timeless, boundless, impersonal. When we keep affirming our true nature, it makes awareness cannot grow, but it becomes predominant. It becomes the predominant state of the consciousness. And so when we put those questions to awareness over and over and over until it is over, the mind has nothing to say, because the mind is now mastered. The mind falls into the heart, and the mind, when it does pop up, it will give a feedback on what it's like to rest in the heart. It will say, there's an impersonal, attributeless, timeless, spacious, open, empty, informationless, ever-present, boundless awareness, and the qualities are love, kindness, goodness, mercy, faithfulness. The mind starts to sing the song, sings a new song. And so when questions arise, there's nothing wrong with questions, but when they arise, it's to know, it's to discern, where's the question coming from? Is it coming from the dualistic mind that says something is good or bad, right or wrong, left, right, up, down? Or is it, who am I? Because that who am I question is non-dualistic. And so if I have any gift, it is to use whatever you can to self-inquire. It's the key that unlocks everything. And self-inquiry You don't need to be in any special position. You don't need to be inside the body. You don't need to be away from the head area. You don't need anything because you cannot be destroyed. Who you are is the self. However, if the mind has been quite chaotic, or should I say, if the beingness has been trapped in the chaos of the mind, because all the mind is mental activity. That's all that it is. It's mental activity. That's the mind that's, we call it asleep, and we call the mind that's peaceful awake. It's just a name of an experience. But if the mind has been quite noisy and there's no space and, it's just a lot of noise, then I would advise to use aids. And those aids can be step 1, sit down. Step 2, relax the body. Step 3, close the eyes. We can use aids just because the mind is an organization structural tool. That's what the mind, if you use the mind to organize and structure, you're using it correctly. And then the mind then falls into the heart. But prior to that, so any aid, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, they're fine. It's only spiritual pride that will say, oh, you don't need no steps. That's spiritual pride. Because awareness is loving and says anything that's going to bring you to recognize who you are, do it. That's awareness. That's the language of awareness from wisdom. So it could be that you may need to start with steps, be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself. Sit down. Okay, I'm sat down. Now I'm going to consciously relax. And now I'm going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, because by doing that, the attention cannot be in 2 places at once. So the attention that was going into the mind is now being brought to focus on the breath, which is only ever in the present moment. So the breath has no past and no future. So you're out of the dualistic mind, and now you are just being who and what you are. And the mind is in alignment with the true nature. That mind that's in alignment with the true nature can now say, is there a past? And it will just wait, and there you are, awareness. The mind will then ask, is there a future? And there you are. And it can ask every single question. And you can put that question, is there such thing as reincarnation? And just experience the answer. It's like an experience at first. You experience silence, peace. There's no answer. What I then point people to is to recognize the qualities of that. That is probably very, very important. Very, very important for establishing the true nature in this lifetime, is to use that mind to affirm the qualities. So the qualities are, well, there's no past, there's no future, so it's ever present. There's no inside and outside, so it's boundless. So now you're using intelligence, reasoning. You are actually affirming what you have found. That language, that impersonal language, that language that is talking about the presence of God, gives so much power to awareness that it becomes the forefront. And it gives something like 5-6 hours of grace. During the day, you've still got your dynamic world, but the mind has been stunned. There's no past. So if a thought comes in of a memory of a past, you may get caught, and then you'll remember, hold on, there's no past. Oh, and you'll come back. And it can be a re-remembering of this state, but when you use impersonal language to affirm your clear seeing, it shortens, it cuts the journey in half, the pathless path, because you are constantly reaffirming your clear seeing. And the mind is very powerful. It's extremely powerful, extremely potent. And because it's powerful and it's potent, it doesn't really matter which way you do this. So there are some beings that do positive affirmations and use high vibration language, like I am amazing, today is a good day, this is, and they do that because it's an energetic game. And so to use that language means your energy is more closer to your true nature. And then after doing that, playing that energy game of life is amazing, life is brilliant, I am okay, I'm fine, everything's good, when you've become accustomed to using happy language, you then want more. You're like, there's more. And that's when you can then say, who am I? And then the self-inquiry, self-realization starts to emerge, and you start to become curious to, who am I? What is life? Why am I here? And then self-inquiry will answer those questions. And because you've got a pattern of being positive, when the mind is not focusing on ever-present, timeless, boundless, spacious, it falls into positivity. So it doesn't damage, it doesn't spoil the game. You're still having fantastic experiences. However, there are some beings that are called or are attracted to waking up. I want to wake up. I've had enough of suffering. I want to wake up. And they may do self-inquiry or some sort of meditation or anything that brings you to who you are now. Okay. But because of the habit, because it's a habit while we leave home, it's a habit. It's just lots and lots and lots of habits, constructs of concepts, they're called. Because we do that frequently before we establish who and what we are, the fall is huge, and you can keep hitting negativity and it's hard to get up. It's not impossible to wake up from negativity. It's not impossible at all, but it is far more favourable, easier, effortless, and I don't want to say wise, because wisdom is not really part of the dualistic game, but it's smoother. It's a smoother transition. It's a smoother transition to heal the heart. Heal the heart. Think of what you want only. Tell yourself what you want only. So you wake up and you've got a day and you've got all these things to do, and you say, right, no matter what, today's going to be a good day. I can do this. I am amazing. I am an overcomer. I've got this. I can do it. And that sort of language keeps you in a higher vibration to get things done more effectively. It's the right way to use the mind. And like I said, eventually you will wonder, there's more to life than this. And that's when you're ready now to go into self-realization, etc. But there are a lot of beings that hit suffering and say, that's it, I'm out. And they jump and they transcend the mind. So everybody has different experiences. And each experience is unique. So the idea of, is there such a thing as reincarnation? For some beings, they're going to say, yes, I've absolutely had that experience. Some beings are going to say, I believe that can happen. So they're having an experience of believing it can happen. And some beings are going to have an experience of doubting and saying, stop talking nonsense, it's not real. So there's your answer. You can choose your answer. But if something doesn't resonate, wisdom says just leave it alone. You don't, if you you don't want to eat, if you don't eat apples, don't pick off the apple tree because you don't like them. Go over to the orange tree, or the tree that is producing plums. And it is to be as gentle and kind to yourself as possible, because the nervous system reacts and responds. But if you're relaxed, then you're giving the nervous system a break, and your body is now becoming more loose for life source to move through you easier, with more grace and more ease. I hope this really helps. Thank you.